Hello, Joe.
Hey, Dean.
I decided I might as well just stay here.
Yeah, for whatever reason, my laptop, the one, the town hall or the town issued one,
Yeah.
I could not get into the meeting.
Huh.
I'm having
Well,
to
that's
do it
not
from
good.
my phone.
Oh, well, that's not good. Well,
No,
bring it in, and we'll have you do. We'll do an IT review with you. Make
yeah,
sure
I
it's.
don't know what the issue is. I've been working on it for about 15, 20 minutes and couldn't get
Huh.
it to take.
Yeah. What's
Um, I suppose I could do it here on my Mac. I've got this fired up, but I don't have the link here, do I? Let me see. Is it in my
yeah.
calendar?
The the link came from Brian Godot.
Yeah, it's not on my
Uh,
calendar here because I don't have this computer tied to that.
oh, you want me to send it to you?
If you want to send it to my personal email, then I can pop it up.
See if I can accomplish that. Just a second. Uh,
I wonder if I can do it without screwing everything up.
Let me
I might, I might be able to do it, Dean, if I can find it.
see. Joe.
Is anybody else in the meeting or is everybody bailed out?
Just Brian Godot.
I'm here.
Hey, Mary.
Yep,
Aaron.
there you go.
Hi.
I just sent you the link, Joe.
Okay. Mary, could you get into the meeting with your town laptop or are you on a different computer?
This
I
is
had to
Aaron.
go in through the public website and enter it,
Yeah,
not
I
through the
can't.
email.
I couldn't get it. All right.
And you're not in, Joe, so it's Aaron. Hi, Aaron.
Hi, team.
Well, we might as well have our own party, huh?
Right? They're all in the basement at City Hall, Abby's saying.
Yeah. Apparently, those chickens are all down there bouncing on their yoga balls.
Yeah, the second I went to log in, the sirens went off here, so
Yeah.
let's hope it's not too rough.
I hope not. I hope there isn't damage and stuff. I got my cars all under control, I think, but we got so many that they kind of leak out from under roofs.
Oh, yeah. That's why I was gonna go City Hall in person tonight, but then I saw hail in the forecast and I thought, not with a new car. So,
Yep, leave it in the garage, right?
yep.
Oh, there you go. There's Joe again. Hey,
Come on.
there you are.
All right. I'm going to kill this one. Hang on.
Yeah, I'm gonna activate my hotspot because our home internet is terrible when it's storming.
I don't know what's happening here. We will see. It sure is dark.
Can you hear me, Dean?
Yes.
Perfect. Okay.
Yep,
I'm
you're in.
downstairs, so I don't know. I bailed down here, so I don't know what's going on upstairs.
What's on in the home theater? I think we could probably see half a movie.
I was in there actually. I had the weather on and then I jumped over here.
Okay.
So yeah.
Good thing I jumped over to the hotspot because our internet just dropped off completely.
Uh-oh. I'm probably not far behind then.
Possible.
Ours, we have TDS, but ours is just terrible at
Oh.
home. Anytime it storms, anytime anything is going on.
We've got Spectrum as our primary here at the house, but I think we still have our TDS as a backup.
Okay.
That's what you
Well, you
get.
got two pathways then.
Well, we both have home-based offices here and need to make sure we're up and running when something hits the fan. So
Yeah. Did you hear that, Joe, that one of the contractors for the utility stuff on County M pulled the wrong thing in Majig and he knocked out 45,000 Spectrum customers.
Oh my
oh,
gosh.
Oh,
fun.
and they were so mad that they came out and they fired him right on the site, right at like outside of our office window.
Really?
You're out of here, you know. So
Wow.
that was the end of him.
Oh my goodness.
No, I did not hear that.
Yep, we got him. I didn't have anything to do with it, but they got him back going pretty quickly. But
Yeah.
Boy, were they angry. He cut the wrong cable. He cut the old, what he thought was the old one that was the new one, and blah, blah. So
Hmm.
that was something.
We had someone do that at our old office in the midst of a deadline, and many words were half.
I can imagine.
Yeah. Well, if we could ever get this thing going, it should go pretty smooth tonight because there isn't any contention. Everything is just a matter of getting it done. We'll let
Right.
Mark run the show and follow his lead and do it. I think it should be pretty easy. It
Let's hope.
isn't it neat how nice it is in Westport? Look at this, the sun's shining. Like
Yeah,
my
it's nice
fountain's
and sunny
going.
there. You got the fountain in the background.
Yeah.
Can't even see any of the construction.
We should have had the meeting in Westport. It would have been
But
great.
it's always beautiful here, at least on Zoom.
Right. No, we're getting the worst of it now. It's just coming in.
Is it?
Yeah,
Yeah,
just looking at the radar.
we are on the other. We're ahead of it, of course, over here, and it's just like deathly quiet. So I guess we're going to get it soon.
Yeah.
It's pretty quiet in our house anyway, but let me just check once. It's super still. It's super still right now.
Is it?
Yeah.
I had the my computer set up upstairs looking out the back. It was a nice view, but I couldn't log on. So
There you go.
down here it is.
You hear anything in the background? My second youngest son is deathly afraid of tornadoes.
Uh-oh. Poor guy.
Yeah,
Yeah.
anytime it rains, he asks about if there's going to be a tornado.
I took my he's 26 now, but I took him to the Disney World too soon, and he was on that tornado ride,
Oh,
and it kind of freaked him out, and he's still trying to face his fears. Hi, all on Zoom. The council is in recess until tornado running expires at approximately 8. Well, there you go.
Okay.
20 minutes.
What are you gonna do about your cars? Are you moving them out of there over at the storage place? Because that, for whatever reason, Wanakee pushed that through. So that got approved.
Pushed what through?
Those new buildings out at our storage site.
Oh.
I talked to Larry about it, and Larry said that they're gonna be right up within a foot of the existing concrete apron.
That makes it impossible for me to get my car trailer out.
Well,
My
those
cars I can get out.
yeah, mine's 50 foot deep. You couldn't get anything in and out of there.
Yeah, that was really stupid. The Coronado is down in 701, so I have driveway in front of me, and so
Okay.
that's a really good unit. But
Yeah, I had 702 and 703, and I was an idiot and gave them up and moved to this one because it's deeper, because those were shallower because they had that window space or whatever behind them.
yep,
Yeah,
which
so I've
is
got a really deep one now, but I can't. I'm out.
well, that's too bad.
I'm gonna have to leave.
I'm going to have to get out of 717 because
Your trailer's in there, right?
that's why I got my big car trailer. I won't be able to negotiate that out of there either.
No.
And that's too tight anyway. I just can't make it work. You got to take 2 or 3 runs at it. I swear that it's within 3 or 4 inches on each side.
Same here. Yep.
One of us has to back it in, and the other one has to actually stand on the trailer and direct them in order to get it in. It's awful.
Yeah. Well, they
I
made
need some.
they made all those units worthless.
Yep.
I mean, other than storing furniture in there, you're not gonna do. I told them, I said, they're gonna have people trying to push their boats and cars out of them by hand. And they're gonna lose them on that apron, and you're gonna have them crashing into the building on the low side.
Yep. I have my little forklift over there, so if you get in a jam, at some point I can get them out for you. But because that'll turn on a dime,
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know what I'm gonna do. The architect finished up plans. I had Cleary draw up plans for a building here, but holy cow, is it expensive.
I'll bet.
For a 30 by 40, it was 127,000.
Oh my goodness.
Yep.
Good thing you don't need a site, right? Ay, ay, ay.
Just ridiculous. So
That is
I don't know. We'll
ridiculous.
see what the builder comes back for a stick frame. So
My son up in Appleton is fortunate to have a brother-in-law that's a builder, and they just build like a 35 by 35 in his backyard. And
nice.
they put the walls and the trusses up over the weekend. I'm so impressed that they got that much done.
Oh,
Looks really nice.
yeah, I'd like to get this done. We looked at a house up in Door County back in December, and they had a 12 car secondary building on the
Ooh,
property. And that was
wow.
on 20 acres. That would have been really nice. Had big
Yeah.
office space and that up above, but
Ooh,
it was a big building, real big building.
that sounds wonderful.
But
In Sturgeon Bay or beyond?
almost all the way up to the peninsula,
Oh, wow.
past Ellison Bay,
Uh-huh.
about a mile and a half from the tip.
Got it. Yeah, pretty nice up there. It makes it a lot longer ride though.
That's what Sarah's complaint was, so we didn't move forward with it. We thought about putting an offer on it, but she said that's another hour from
It is.
Sturgeon Bay.
I almost bought a condo in Sister Bay, and at the
Okay.
last minute I moved and bought the one at Quarterdeck Marina in Sturgeon Bay.
Mhm.
And over the years we saved tons and tons of time and money and miles and
Right.
time, and it was really a pretty good deal. Sturgeon Bay is pretty cool, I mean you can
Mhm.
use that as a launch pad then to go visit everything in reasonable time, but at least you don't have to do it at the beginning and the end of every trip.
Yeah. We've been, we looked at, and we should have, there's a couple of homes we should have bought, but we didn't, but we've been looking south of Egg Harbor. So ideally, I'd like to be just north of Sturgeon Bay on Bay
Yeah,
Shore Drive,
along the
on Bay
lower.
Shore on the water.
Yep, lower G is it or whatever?
Yep.
That's
Yep.
beautiful.
Yep. That's where I'd like to be because you're just out of Sturgeon Bay enough, but
Hmm.
you're not too far. Plus you're south of all the chaos that goes on up north.
Right. No, that's a great area.
Yeah. So
Well,
I guess we're sitting here stuck chit chatting until
yeah, I
8.
know. Till 8 o'clock. Hey, I have another question for you as long as we're talking about rich people stuff. We were talking about we were talking about Rolexes,
Yep.
and you said that, probably don't send it to Rolex itself because it's a problem. Do you have a contact or anything that you would recommend?
For doing
I
what? I didn't catch the other part of it.
I need someone that to kind of redo my Rolex, make it restored kind of, and I don't know who to go to that I can trust.
Brian over at Bruno's used to be the guy to go to, but he's now at Middleton Ford selling cars.
I'll tell you what's going on, right?
Yeah, I don't know.
And these poor guys can't get parts. So like he
Right.
couldn't do it in his basement for us if he tried. That's a bad.
No, I don't know. I mean, Bruno's is the authorized Rolex store in town.
Yeah,
Um,
I don't know if I like them, but maybe.
um, but I haven't bought anything from him. I mean, I haven't bought a Rolex from him, but I want a watch from him. I won an Oris from him a couple of years back.
Uh,
Um,
If
and
you're
I think I
talking
bought,
about the Westtown location, there's an awesome architect that designed that space.
really,
is
okay.
that right?
Yeah, yeah. They expanded the store and it looks really nice. So
Yeah.
whoever did it did a beautiful job. Uh,
Wonderful. But we
but
don't have a watchmaker we can trust yet, huh?
I don't know. I mean, Chalmers used to be the Rolex dealer in town, but I don't know if I trust them either.
No. I heard some mixed reports on that guy.
Um, Unfortunately, I don't have anything for you. Armitage Jewelers down in Atlanta used to be respectable, but I don't know.
You
I
know
don't
anything about the Milwaukee guys, that Vine and Traub or whatever it is?
know.
Okay. They're the Milwaukee authorized dealer. They have two locations, but
Yep.
I don't know if they're any good either.
I haven't needed service on mine, so I haven't worried about it. I did my Breitling I sent back to the factory and it came back looking like new. It was amazing.
Huh.
But
I'm scared to send mine because I'm afraid they'll screw up more than they fix, you know?
Well, they take, if you got an old face or anything like that, they take it off, they put new ones on, and
Yep.
that's the
I have
problem.
I have an old face that may not be the right, a real official Rolex one, but I
Mhm.
like it better than one I've ever seen. It's very nice. And
Yeah,
I don't want to, I for sure don't want anybody to touch that.
yeah,
And so it's just the way I bought it, the way I've owned it now for
yeah.
35 years. I don't want anything to happen to it.
Hmm.
Um, I don't know. Good luck.
Yeah.
Um, I don't know if Weiss does that or not. I think he's just building his own watches now. Cameron Weiss. He was out in California. I think he's now in Tennessee. I know his name's been around for quite a while as a real
Hmm.
stand-up guy, but
Yeah.
good luck is all I
I
can
know.
say. I don't know,
I don't know where to start.
right?
Well, it's taking up space in its watch box right now, but it runs, but I can't get the crown to screw down.
Hmm.
And then if you shake it up too
Probably
much,
bent.
yeah, and if you shake it up too much, it buzzes and it loses its wind,
Hmm.
But otherwise it runs and keeps great time and looks fine, but it
Hmm.
just needs those two things helped, but try to find someone.
Is it a date just or what is it?
It's a president day
Okay.
date.
Day date?
Yeah.
Yeah. Hmm. I don't
So
know. Find
it's
somebody,
not,
let me know.
yeah, it's not insignificant, so I want to take good care of it.
No, 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 that's for sure.
Well, now it's raining.
Is it?
Yeah, it's pouring here now.
Let me take a look at the cameras and see what they're doing.
I say, yeah, we just got hit with all the stuff a little bit ago, so it's making you
Where are you at in Middleton, Aaron?
right by the high school, like 2 blocks away.
Okay.
Oh,
Yeah.
I'm probably, as the crow flies, 3 miles from you, 3 miles, 2 miles.
Okay. Yeah, the massive wind hit about 10 minutes ago, blowing things sideways and everything. This massive downpour.
I took the liberty of hiding a couple cars under our overhang between the building and the park shelter for a couple hours because I was
There you
really
go.
concerned.
Or we're getting some hail or something. Oh, maybe that's his leaves shredding off the trees. I can't tell.
I don't know. Could be
Something's
hail.
coming down pretty hard out there. I'm looking
They're
at the
talking
camera
about
in my
inch and a
driveway.
quarter. That's
My
what
GM,
scared me. I don't care about rain, but inch and a quarter hail, that
yeah,
frightens.
yeah, my
Yeah.
GMC truck will like that hail.
Yeah, give it back to him with some dents in it, no problem.
Talked to the attorney today and I said, what the heck's going on? He's like, well, we don't have a final, they said that they were gonna send everything, they just haven't done it.
Huh,
I said, well, I'm piling miles on it. He goes, drive it to the moon and back. At this point, it doesn't matter. He's like, put all the miles on it, it's free.
that's wow.
I keep watching our fence between us and the neighbors that is 12 years old and has been long due to be replaced. And we're supposed to replace it in 2 weeks, but guess what might come down tonight?
Right? Then they'll put an insurance claim in on it.
My husband put some supports up, but
Yeah.
Yeah.
oof.
Hmm.
Well, at least we did all the tree trimming last summer, so none of that should come down.
That's a never ending battle here for me.
Yeah, we have a silver maple that they estimate is like
Yeah.
70 years old, so it's nonstop.
Yep. Yeah, those will do that.
They shed like crazy, don't they? I have a couple.
Oh my goodness. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it gets worse every year. I mean, we removed half of the branches when we did our home expansion, so I thought it would get better, but I feel like it's almost gotten worse. Like the upper stuff must come down more now that the
Yeah.
lower branches don't catch it.
I don't know what's going on, but mine are huge. They're just massive. But the sticks that come down are unbelievable.
Yeah, fall and spring.
Yeah.
My silver maples are down in the woods, so I couldn't even tell you what they look like anymore. I can't make out anything on the camera, so whatever's going on, it's going on hard.
Look at my reader here a second. Yeah, it's
The folks hiding out in the city hall basement must not have reception because no one's answering me.
it's according to my radar map, it's on top of you guys, and it's just about to hit that. There's a yellow blob over my head, but there's the big red one's coming still. Well, no, I'm gonna just update it. So this is all it is. It's fine. The front kind of went by without a hitch. Well, we'll see.
Yeah. It looks dark out there.
It's black. I mean, like dark,
it?
dark. Yeah. It is totally black, like 9 o'clock, not 8 o'clock.
Oh,
Or
yeah.
10, yeah.
Oh,
Ooh,
okay.
that's scary. That's scary when you think about it.
What's this one doing?
Yeah, it looks like get through the worst of it for this front in the next couple of minutes, but then there's another one coming behind it.
Yeah, we'll have to get wrapped up quick. Will they just postpone this if it gets to be late, Dean, or do they carry through either way?
So I asked about that, and without naming names, the answer was we'll try to get through the public hearings just because that's such a huge thing to reschedule with the newspaper notices and everything like that.
Yeah.
And then, push off the rest if need be, but those
So
are
the
the
public
priority.
hearings are on the Middleton Common Council side. We don't have a public hearing tonight, right? We're just need to.
Correct. Yep.
Right.
Yep. It's kind of a
Okay.
joint public hearing. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And so the three of those will go through. And then theoretically, we were supposed to adjourn down to another room somewhere and leave the common council go their direction. And we were going to finish up the plats.
Yeah.
It's much ado about nothing. Krushik's done. And the materials thing is only a matter of access at the road. Sean Stosky found we'll just heck with bang of thunder here. Found that there was maybe an access problem on K with the two parcels, but they strongly want to keep the two accesses, and I don't care. They're now they later. So
And
Yeah,
I do
I
think it's
question
more
that.
of a suggestion from the engineer, just trying to, consolidate access points on.
I'm surprised Dane County
Roadway.
allowed it.
well, it's there now. That's where trying to get another one. That's impossible. But I guess
Right.
Right.
probably.
Well, are they coming out in 7 minutes or are they staying in?
I haven't heard
But
back from anybody yet.
we're all a bunch of mushrooms right now, aren't we? Might lose their quorum otherwise, right?
Dean, I'm gonna bail out for a minute. I'll be right back.
Yeah, I'm gonna
Sure.
help put kids to bed as long as we are offline for
Yeah,
another
that's
6
fine.
minutes here.
They just updated the tornado warning until 8 o'clock for
Wow.
Westport. Well, or
Okay.
whatever.
All right, I'll be right back.
Yep.
Everything's
Steve.
standing in your yard, Mr. Schulfer?
All here, as far as I know.
Did you hear my fence comment?
About your what comment?
Our fence. You remember 12 years ago,
Oh, I
the
missed
big
that. I
fence.
heard the Gruno's Foch comment though.
Yeah,
Did you?
it's a good space.
You want to weigh in on that one, Steve?
Well, the architect was marginal, but the watches are pretty nice, I hear.
Well, the watches are great if they don't it hasn't been like I don't know what it is, 15 years since it's gotten a grease job and oil change. And I just have a couple of things I should do to it, and I just want to take care of it.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, Steve, I was saying our fence with the neighbor that doesn't like things toyed with is 12 years old and due to be replaced. And we were just about to turn in the permit this week to do that, but it may not stay up for the night.
Yeah, right. Good timing.
Now they're saying the tornado warning was extended to 8:30.
Yeah, I have a feeling they'll keep doing that, but
What's so council is on recess till when? Till the tornado warning expires? Is that it?
yeah,
Right,
that's
in the
Brian
basement.
Gatto's comment was until 8 p.m. But if they extend it, I guess I don't know protocol there.
So Joe excused himself for a second, but he'll be right back. You're the only other one that's really on the call. Brian was on for a while and then he shut his camera off and went down in the basement.
Yeah, Steve, if you didn't hear me earlier, I think that they said priority would be public hearings, obviously, to
Yeah.
get
Yeah, I
through
heard
that,
that.
but looks like a weird oval shaped storm that will lay up in a little bit and then hit us again. Thank goodness for hotspots because our internet is completely out.
Wow.
Anyone needs a laugh, you can hear the kids in the background speculating on zombies that come with tornadoes. It's a known issue with storms in Wisconsin.
It's a known issue.
Yeah.
It's a known issue if you're under 12.
Which all of them are. So
Yeah.
It looks
Doesn't
like
take long, Aaron, before you're too old to appreciate all that, isn't it? I mean, I don't know.
yeah.
I have 6 boys and they range in age from 42 to 17.
Oh
And
my
I'm finally
God.
getting my last one graduated here next weekend, and it's kind of like, oh boy, am I happy I'm done with this? He's like, ay, ay, ay.
6 boys, man, Dean.
Yeah, no girls. I have granddaughters, but no
Wow.
no daughters.
I have 3 boys, and that is plenty. 1 girl, 3 boys.
Oh, one girl too, though. Yeah, that even adds to the mix.
Yeah, she's the ringleader, so it's a good thing and a bad thing depending on the day.
so Dean, are those all your boys that are out at your shop all the time?
Yep.
Yeah,
Sometimes
that's
there's a friend or so involved, but mostly it's my kids. Yeah.
yeah, it's always a flurry of activity over
Grosskip and Sons Garage.
there.
The problem I have is that I bought that thing so I could take care of my cars, and the kids have it's taken on a life of its own. And the kids have so many project cars that they want to work on and do stuff that's far more extensive than I've ever been willing to do. And it plugs up my lift and my stuff and uses up my supplies. And I'd like to be mad about it, but I can't because they're great kids. And as long as they're doing that, they're not getting in trouble. And
Yeah, right.
it's
It could
just
be a
fun.
lot worse things they could be doing. Huh?
Oh, absolutely. And they help me a lot too. So I'm okay. But it's just sometimes it's like, doggone it, I wish I had a garage for myself. I need to buy the one next door or something. I don't know.
Oh.
Well, how are you? What do you do over there? You have a Corvette, I understand.
Yeah, I got a Corvette, and much like you, so my son turns 16 and hopefully gets his driver's license tomorrow.
Whoa, wow.
But he's got an old Dodge pickup that he wanted to work on, so we've been tinkering with that for the last month or two.
Uh-huh.
So that's yeah. I hear your pain. It fills it up pretty quick, doesn't it?
Oh, it sure does. And like I said, it's okay, but it's not. I just it and we try to do too much with it. I don't know if you haven't seen my place, but you should come over sometime. But I've got across the back wall, I have a 4-post 2-car lift, so it goes 2 up, 2 down.
Oh, wow.
And then next to that, I have another 4-post 2-car lift. I mean, or 1-car lift. So I can do 3 up, 3 down across the back. And then I have a 2-post lift in front of it, but we have to go through the 2-post lift and wiggle around behind the shop, office and bathroom in order to get into those, ones in the back. And so you almost need a spotter and an extra spotter to start moving cars around, especially since my cars tend to be great big GM things instead of Porsches or something.
You get like a 1/4 inch on each side of the
Oh
fender
yeah,
to-
it gets so
to work
close,
with,
it's
right?
ridiculous. And if I just had more room, it would just be so much easier to move things around.
Yeah, but then you'd have twice as many cars.
Yeah, I suppose. I don't know.
Oh.
And then before I took this full-time job at Westport, I was a controller at Masters Building Solutions. You probably know those guys.
Yeah, I know of them. I don't know them real well, but
Yeah. Well, they're extremely successful, and they sell all this really big HVAC stuff to commercial buildings. And so they had 5 offices around, and I think 6 different unions, and 450 employees, and well over 100 million in sales. And so it was just really a lot of work. And at my
wow.
age, I decided, well, if I could go 8/10 of a mile instead of down to the South Beltline every day to work, it would make more sense. But they're really, really nice guys. And whenever I talk about them, I always say we still, I can't get over it. And my son Grant still works there. And while we're filling in time, so the president of the company, Mike Pawlowski, says to his kid, "I need a new car." And this was about a year ago, and the kid says, "Well, just get a new Mercedes. To hell with it." And he had like a 2014, I think it was, Mercedes. And so he bought a brand new S class, top of the line, big black beauty, and parked the silver one, and which you'll probably see pretty soon, in the back of the shop. And then it started getting in the way, and then the battery died, and it got to be more of a pain than it was worth. And so the son again, who works there, said to his dad, who's the president of the company, he says, "Dad, we got to get rid of this car." And he says, "Well, I tried to give it away to the Boys Ranch or Rawhide or whatever. They wouldn't give me a very big receipt for it." So he said, "I just kind of got mad and let it sit there." And then he says, "Do you know anybody that wants it?" And he said, "No, not really." And so then he mentioned it to Grant, and Grant said, "Well, I'll take it." Dumbass. He could put it in my garage, right? And so, and so Bob goes back to the boss, to the president, and he says, "Well, Grant Groskup says he'll take it." And he says, "Really? I got to think about that." So the next morning he says, "He can have it. I'm just going to sign the title over to him." So now we got another one.
Oh my gosh.
It's a pretty nice car. And the
Wow.
kid got it for nothing. So I
That's
don't
a
know.
good deal.
It is a good deal. And before your time, we had there was that's when I was still working there. They had a one of those great big Dodge Ram vans, the ones that you can walk around in and turn into campers.
Yep.
And it had been sitting in the back lot, and the tires were flat, and the battery was dead. And the vice president, Michelle Robert, was at pizza over at Rocky's Pizza one day, and Grant and I went in there for lunch. And he said, "If somebody wanted that thing for $500, they could have it." So the next morning, Grant, I got to hand it to the kid. He walks in there with a check for $500. He says, "I'll take it." And he got like, "Whoa, I don't know." And they fixed that thing up, and they sold it to a guy for like $10,000 in a TR6, a Triumph TR6. And so they had a lot of cash, and then they took the TR6 and traded it for a Model A, and then they sold the Model A, and now they're finally out of that thing. But for $500, that was a good deal too. So
Yeah, right. Just keep trading up, huh?
yeah. So if you hang around with those guys over at Masters, you get once in a while you get a nut.
Yeah. Well, you know what? It's funny you mentioned Michelle's name. I met him about a year ago for the first time. So kind of fun to make that, hear you say his name. It sort of brings it all
Mhm.
together, right? The
Well,
connections.
Michelle is really a great guy.
Yeah.
He was of the big guys. He was my favorite.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I can't say anything bad about any of them, but Pawlowski was a little more aloof, I think, and because of his health and
Mhm.
his stature, I suppose he just wasn't around as much. Michelle was
Yeah.
there every day, and he was a working fool,
Wow.
unbelievable. And then the other vice president, Doug Bergman, I don't know if you know him or not.
No.
He's equally effective.
Yeah.
And so between those three guys, they just knock them dead. Crazy.
Good.
Unbelievable.
Good. And you retired from there? Is that it?
Well, I quit. Yeah, I quit and
Yeah.
just took the job at the town of Westport as the administrator, clerk, treasurer.
Yeah.
And I've been involved in Westport for 30 some years as chair and worked on the plan commission, joint plan, and back and forth. And I was chair before this job, and Tom Wilson, who's been around forever, I don't know if you know him, he decided to retire, and so as chair, I had to figure out how I was going to replace him. I was in the shower one morning, I kind of had this epiphany. I says, maybe I should do it. And so I worked the board over for enough money that it made sense, and I took the job, and I've never looked back. And other than the fact that I love those guys over at Masters, I just am really enjoying life over here at Westport. So it works out really well.
Good.
Yeah.
Where else can you spend a Tuesday night during a tornado warning, right?
Yeah. Well, see, I would have been here anyway, but now I'm getting paid. So it's a better deal.
I'll tell you what, the sirens
Rub it
here in
in,
Middleton
rub it
have been
in,
going
rub it in.
steady for the last few minutes.
Yeah.
Checking out the radar right now, see what's going on.
Gee, Dean.
Erin left. She was bored. No,
Yeah.
she put the kids to bed, I think. You back, Joe?
Yeah, I'm back. I was just hearing how you're rubbing in how you get paid, and I'm just a slouch.
And you don't? Yeah, but if I had your money, I'd throw mine away, Joe.
Right? Oh man.
So we had this conversation with my kids tonight. Do tornadoes spin clockwise or counterclockwise?
Are you talking about the northern or the southern hemisphere?
You're right.
Mhm.
I think it's
I don't know.
counterclockwise, isn't it?
Counter? Yeah, I was thinking I would have guessed clockwise, but
Yeah,
ask the engine. What do you think, Joe?
Clockwise. Here.
Clockwise.
clockwise.
Joe, yeah, Joe's the engineer, so I'm going to go with his program.
We'll go with that.
For
I don't think-
movies, I don't know. Don't most movies have them spinning? Yeah, it would be counterclockwise.
I bet Google will tell me.
Not that movies are like a source of.
Depends if you're looking in the mirror or not.
My friends made me watch Twister a lot of times, and I feel like all of those were
Mhm.
going counterclockwise in that movie.
The cow did go from left to right, didn't it? I don't know. Well, it's 8:10 and they didn't come out of the basement. Now what are we going to do?
I'm guessing that they extended it till 8:30.
Probably.
Get my dogs out of here.
All right, I looked it up. In general, most tornadoes in the northern hemisphere rotate cyclically or counterclockwise. Only around 5% of tornadoes in the northern hemisphere rotate clockwise,
Oh, bummer.
and then opposite in the southern hemisphere.
I'm glad we didn't bet. At least I knew it was probably the other direction on the other side of the world.
Yeah, I wonder. Yeah, well, there's conflicting articles here, 1% or 5%, but I am sure there is a reason for that.
No, that's the opposite of a toilet, right? Doesn't the toilet go?
Right?
Yeah, the toilet goes clockwise.
Yep. That was one of the first things we did when we went to Australia. You just got to test it to make sure.
You still talking about spinning tornadoes and
Oh yeah, I looked it up, and most in the northern hemisphere are counterclockwise. Only about 1% go clockwise, and then vice versa in the southern hemisphere.
Hmm.
So who was in Twister? Helen Hunt and can't remember the other actor's
Oh,
name.
he died.
Bill Paxton.
Bill Paxton, yeah.
So that was accurate in how they depicted tornadoes.
That's right. The cow went from left to right. So there you go.
But then we proceeded on to the toilet discussion, Steve, as far as opposite of how the water swirls.
I'm glad I could facilitate that.
Poor Aaron, when you're around a
Conversation.
bunch of guys, things always kind of end up there, right? You're the mother of 3 boys. There you go.
Yep.
Yep. Oh, come on, you guys. Somebody down there should send out scouts. It's really not that bad.
I think Terrence was a scout. Can send him over there.
That's a good one. I think he was, though. It seems like somewhere, maybe I dreamt this. I don't know. It seems like somewhere I saw that guy in his Boy Scout uniform. Oh, well.
Not surprising. And I don't know if you're dreaming about him, Dean. We got to have a conversation.
I don't know. That's scary. It's very scary. Wonder why I thought of that.
Well, the worst of it looks like it's almost by us. Hmm.
Thanks. Well, I personally am in a green spot right now, but there's another red one coming. Well, this is frustrating.
Well, it's better than being trapped in the basement at City Hall, I suppose so.
This decision to go Zoom wasn't so bad then, huh, Dean?
No. Good job, Joe. The last time we had that meeting about the cart path, Joe said he didn't want any more Zoom meetings. So when Mark offered that today, I said I didn't know. I'd have to check with Joe. And he said, yeah, no, let's do it. So good plan. Steve, are you getting paid by the hour?
Sure. Dean, I understand you were going to share some of your paycheck tonight.
Yeah, no. I can't help you there. Those of you hard guys got a lot of money, I think.
Yeah, right.
So sell some more concrete. Oh, geez. Cell phone call. Hello, is it me? Yeah, hi, Mark.
Away from the and recently we didn't come back to the so we're gonna go back to the plan is
Okay, well, Steve, Joe, and I and Aaron are all kind of sitting here on Zoom, getting to know each other. So, so I'll tell them that, but I don't know, who knows it. I think the front's really through. I just kind of.
said we're gonna stay put for longer.
Yeah.
So hopefully we go up soon. I just wanted to give an update on what's going on.
I'll tell them. Yeah, thank you, Mark. Keep me informed. Try again. Okay, so he says that they were going to come up, but the sirens went off again. Consequently, they stayed put, but they believe that it'll be fairly soon. They'll come upstairs and resume the meeting.
Sounds good.
That is the update.
Hopefully someone brought snacks tonight.
Yeah, I did, but I can't share them with you.
Since that Mark Opitz was handing out cookies in one of the other meetings, so hopefully there's a stash there.
Yeah, I hope they keep ours on the side so we can get them later.
Anyone have any fun summer plans they want to talk about while we're waiting?
Not really, not me. I'm gonna try to take a couple weeks and spend them at my cottage and over the summer because Kathy's off, my wife, and she works at Arboretum Elementary School, so she has July off, and it's a kind of 11-month contract. So we may do that, and then if I need to, I'll buzz back and forth. It's fairly close. We're on Okachi Lake near Oconomowoc, so it's only an hour away.
Oh, fun.
Yeah.
I grew up in Waukesha, so I have
Oh, did
friends.
you?
Yeah, I have friends with places on Okachi.
Yeah,
Lovely area.
it is. Yeah. My great grandparents built it in 1921, and so it's been in the family ever since.
Oh,
And
nice.
currently, my sister and I own it 50-50, and our kids enjoy it on our nickel. It's all good.
Awesome. Where is it on Okachi? Our friend's place is right, probably like the 10th house over from Golden Mast.
Okay. Well, ours is on Nichols Point, if you know where that is.
Yeah.
When you come out of the channel, it's just it's the point of land that sticks out on the left, and we're around the corner on the Big Lake side, about
Okay.
3 houses in.
Nice. Are you going to be there for 4th of July?
Yep.
We'll give you a honk and a wave.
Well, come on. Yeah. If you see a big wooden Coronado sitting on a dolly on land, that's me. Come on over and say hi.
Love it.
I have it's a kind of a cool looking boat. It's an old mahogany Century, and it's got a top on it, kind of a top that looks like a real sleek top, and then the paint job wraps around and makes a rocket down below. It's very
Okay.
rare, but they made like 150 of them over 2 years, and they took 3 of them to put mine back as a restoration. So there aren't many left. Yeah, I'm sure.
Wow. That's cool.
Yeah. So
Yeah,
I really enjoy it. It gets a lot of attention sitting there, and then it's not on a shore station like you would expect. It's up on shore, actually, on a track, so you can kind of see it. So
very neat.
it'll look different to you if you come around the corner looking for it. So come on over and
Okay.
say hi. It's okay.
Sure will.
All
Yeah,
right.
it's my friend Shayna's parents' place, but I still allow the kids and friends to come back for the big 4th of July dig. So
Yeah, it's the one time a year when for sure all of my kids are going to come and be there for a couple of days, which is really fun. So then I got all the kids and the grandkids and the wives, and it gets to be quite a hullabaloo. My sister feels overwhelmed because she's only got one daughter that has kids, and so we can't overwhelm her, but it all works out.
yeah, that's fun.
We get along great. It's pretty cool. I don't know how it's going to work in the next generation because there's way too many kids. Donna and I, my sister and I, can share it pretty easily, but when you get different factions and wives and kids and families and stuff, it's going to get to be rough. I don't know how we're going to deal with that.
I'll have to set up a timeshare system.
I guess so. Yeah.
That generation has Google Docs and all that stuff. They can just have a sign list.
Yeah, it sounds complicated to me, but they could probably figure it out.
Yeah. We actually do have friends that do that with their family since they kind of co-own a place where they just put the sheet up there and everyone gets to sign up for a week. And then once everyone's signed up for their week, then they can have a second bid and a third and so on.
Kind of like the NFL draft, huh?
Right.
Oh, look at this. I see something. Nope. Almost.
There's action. Someone's online.
Getting some flashing. Bummer. Might have been a false alarm.
If you wanna watch, don't come in here and watch YouTube. Teasing my daughter right now. Gave her, she wanted ice cream because her brothers ate everything. We went to Walgreens. I gave her a $20 bill and somehow I only got $2 and change. So plenty
You
of
know,
snacks in the
It
house.
reminds me, when I was a little kid, my mom would give me whatever it was to go get a gallon of milk or something at this little delicatessen. And I'd come back and with less than she expected because I bought some candy and a couple other things for me. So, I kind of expect to change back after I give you. I said, oh, gee, I didn't know that. You learned the
Yeah.
lesson that I couldn't just spend the change.
We have 2 different kinds of ice cream and 3 different kinds of candy now. So that's her new thing for feeling independent as a new 10-year-old. Be able to walk or bike the 2 blocks to Walgreens.
So that's on the corner of University and Branch, or what, is that right?
Yep.
Yep, okay.
Literally, yeah, 2 blocks, if not less than us. So,
Okay, well, you were really close then.
very convenient. Yeah, we're plopped right in the middle, pretty much in the middle of all 3 schools. 2 blocks to elementary, 3 blocks to middle school, 2 blocks to high school. So
Perfect.
it's convenient.
Yep. That's nice. Still nice, wonderful city.
Yeah,
When I
that's
first moved, when I first moved to Madison back in 1973, my buddy who was already here said, "You'll probably end up in Middleton someday." And I did. My first house was in Middleton. I bought a house in Orchid Heights, and I was there from 75 to, what was it, 86, I guess, when I moved out to Westport. I've been here ever since, but I enjoyed Middleton. It was very nice.
Yeah, when it came time to when the family was expanding and we needed more room, we looked around for a little bit, but said we are 3 blocks from the pool. We are like 2 blocks from every school. We couldn't ask for a better location, so might as well expand the existing house.
Yeah, that makes sense. Well, I'm gonna shut the camera off for just a second and I'll be right back.
All right, sounds good.
So under miscellaneous, number 2. Okay.
Because you don't have obviously waiting on Joe.
How's it going?
They're all like this. I don't want to come. We're gonna be watching the next meeting. I'm like,
Right?
"Oh."
It's gonna snow.
Oh my gosh, that'd be fun. My daughter would be so happy.
Progressively more severe.
You
I
know?
mean, there's not much further to go from here. No place I want to go anyway.
Earthquakes. Flying monkeys.
Now we're out in Middleton near the high school 5 minutes ago.
Yeah, that people were reporting flickering lights and light outages to me.
Check and see if the kids still have power.
Don't worry, Sam's still watching hockey. That's a good Minnesotan.
You have an update on the score for us?
I'll ask. See if they'll keep us entertained over here. Says they just this is not Sam, this is a different person. They just recorded 70-mile-an-hour winds heading towards Middleton. Yeah. Yeah. So hopefully it's enough. We can keep going.
I'd say there's at least three.
On the city center.
Okay, Madam Mayor, we're ready to call the meeting to order, and I'll provide an update on items that need to be moved and re-noticed for future meeting.
Thank you. I appreciate that. And I want to say thank you to everyone's patience tonight. I understand we have a lot to get through in this agenda. So let's get as far as we can in case we have to go back down. And with that, I'm going to go ahead and call to order this Middleton Common Council. Today is May 21st and the time is 8:38. Roll call, please.
Alder Schaefer,
Here.
Alder Madden,
Here.
Alder Kalish,
Here.
Mayor Kuhn,
Here.
Alder Nelson,
Here.
Alder Jackson,
Here.
Alder Warman, Alder Crow.
Here.
Okay, Madam Mayor, before we get started, we need to see if there is quorum, in fact, for the joint the Middleton Westport Joint Zoning Committee, because that has a couple of agenda items with the City Council. So before we get started with the city business, we need to see if there's a quorum of members of that committee as well.
So we.
Chris Harp, are you present?
I'm here. Can you hear me?
Joe Pichette, are you present? I don't.
Joe was here. He must have lost power.
Yes. Could you sit up at the, thank you. We do have a quorum. Mary Mannering is here. Cindy. I said Joe Pichette. Okay. Okay. Sorry. Okay. That didn't. So we have Mary Mannering, Cindy Kennedy, Aaron Summers is present, and Chris Harp. So we do have a quorum. Do not have a chairperson, and I don't remember who the vice chair is. Maybe one of you in Westport could. He's not yet. I was trying to reach him, but I don't have his phone number.
If somebody on the video feed, has their on, maybe with the weather, can we do? Thank you so much. Pardon? Let me try and manage.
Yeah, okay. She's trying. Do we have quorum? Okay, I've got him, but we don't have a vice chair. We don't have a chair.
I don't recall who. Usually it's a Middleton. Chris, are you the vice chair? Do you recall?
Oh, yeah, that's somebody.
Chris Harp?
Somebody from Middleton.
Oh. It's muted.
We're trying to unmute you.
I am not the vice chair.
Aaron Summers and then Nick Adams. So, and Nick's not present tonight,
I
so we
think
don't have a
Nick
vice
Adams
chair.
is.
So my suggestion would be to elect a temporary chair. So does one of you, a senior person from Westport, want to do that, or does it matter? Are you okay with that process? Yeah. So you want to call the meeting to order, maybe?
I did just connect with Joe. And
Oh.
I asked him if he had power. Can you Zoom? He says no, but he's trying.
Okay.
So you need me to call the meeting to order
Sure.
for Middleton Westport
Yeah.
Joint Zoning Committee.
Yep. All right. So that body's convened as well, Mayor.
Okay, moving on to the public hearings. Now, for council, there are a few things that will be going throughout, and as we are doing this joint meeting, have patience, because I'm going to be asking Brian and Mark to help me if there's anything we need to do that's different, okay? So going in with us public hearings, number one is 7:30 p.m. Well, actually, it's 8:41. Renewal applications for 2024, 2025 Class A and Class B intoxicating liquor, Class A and Class B and fermented malt beverage, Class C wine only, and Class B winery license. Is there anyone here to speak? Hearing none, I'm going to go ahead and close the public hearing. At 8:42, revisions to extraterritorial zoning ordinance, Chapter 35 of Middleton Municipal Code. Is there anyone here to speak? Hearing none, I will close the public meeting.
And Well, and actually the question for a joint hearing, we should be opening the hearing as well for Westport, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So why don't you, if you could open your
I will
hearing.
open
Yeah.
the public hearing for the Middleton Westport joint zoning. Seeing none, I will close the hearing for the Middleton Westport joint zoning.
And we had no hands raised on Zoom either. So, okay.
Thank you for working with me on that.
Yeah.
Number 3 is 843, rezoning from A1EX to A2 and ER1 Khrushchev property, 6285 County Highway K.
And
Is
why don't
there
you
anyone-
open that? Maybe she could open it at the same time.
I'll
Yeah.
open the public meeting for the Middleton Westport joint zoning committee at the same time.
Thank
Any
you.
comments? Please,
Joseph Krushak. I'm part of the Krushak Trust for the 6285 on County K. I've been in contact with Shireen Smith for the Dane County Parks Commission. And my only concern is with this zoning, what type of access or what type of restrictions are going to be on the land if we were to sell to the Dane County Parks Commission? That's my only concern as far as any questions I have about the land.
thank you for that question. I'm going to ask staff, are we allowed to answer at this time, or does that wait for later? Because it's a valid question.
I'll share.
Madam Mayor and members of the Joint Committee, we can address those questions in just a couple of minutes when we get to that ordinance item in just a few moments.
Thank you for that. I appreciate the question. Any other comments or questions? Hearing none, I will close the Middleton portion of the rezoning of the Khrushchev property.
I'll close the Middleton Westport joint zoning commission for the same issue.
And number 4, it's 845, rezoning from A1EX to A2 and C2 Yahara Materials, 6139 County Highway K in Westport within Middleton's ETZ. Opening that public hearing. Is there anyone here to speak on that topic?
I'll open the Middleton Westport joint zoning of the same issue.
Hearing none.
I do have a comment. So we'd received earlier today and I provided it to all the committee members and council members. We did receive an email from John Kinman of Yahara Materials expressing concern and a desire to maintain dual driveway access. It's not directly related to the rezoning, but it can be, it's related to it, but it's more especially related to the certified survey map. It's part of the record of the hearing.
All right. Thank you for that. I'm just seeing no other comments or questions. We'll go ahead and close the Middleton portion of that public hearing.
And I'll close the Middleton Westport joint zoning commission, same issue.
Okay, thank you for that. Moving on to public comments. Is there any public comments?
Madam Mayor, there was a request to have the items related to the joint zoning committee agenda items moved up in the city council member to address them now after the public hearing has been closed. So it'd be ordinance numbers 2, 3, and 4 on the city council agenda, and ordinance numbers 1, 2, and 3 on the Middleton Westport joint zoning committee agenda.
Great. Thank you for that. I'm going to go ahead and move to ordinances. Ordinances number 2. For our council, that's page 5 of 6. Number 2, an ordinance amending chapter 35 extraterritorial zoning ordinance, Westport Joint Planning Area.
This is discussion.
Of the ordinance
Of the
itself for chapter
ordinance.
35. Yeah.
of the same ordinance for the Middleton Westport Joint Zoning Committee.
And Mayor Kuhn, I would appreciate it if there is to be a motion on this, that the Joint Zoning Committee make that motion first.
Thank you for that guidance.
And I'm happy to answer any questions. I think the ordinance amendment is pretty self-explanatory, and then the ordinance itself, the language we provided, showed you what was highlighted as the changes. In a nutshell, we felt the need to add a couple of zoning classifications that were listed originally as temporary classifications, and we have had applications over the last year for zoning classifications that were supposed to be temporary, and they would like them to be permanent. And so that's why we're going through this process. We are also adding County R2, which apparently was an oversight many years ago. We're adding that because we discovered a few months ago that there's property on the zoning map that shows R2, and we didn't have that in our zoning ordinance. So we're adding that. And then there was a couple other housekeeping clerical matters pertaining to how we measure lot coverage, or that we count eaves. We don't count eaves against the setback. So we made that correction as well. This would require the Joint Zoning Committee to take action as a on its own, but then also that would be a recommendation to the council, which has the final authority for the zoning ordinance, extraterritorial zoning ordinance.
I have a
Sure.
clarifying question for our joint Westport, the ones on Zoom. Do they have to have their face on to vote, or are they allowed to be dark to vote? Okay, I'm going to ask our friends on Zoom, if you're not on camera, if you will go ahead and turn that on, please.
I'm on camera, but my power's out, so I have no light, so it's hard to see my face.
Reasonable there. I give you props for still being on the camera. If you have any guidance for said situation.
Well, I mean, the purpose of the rule is to know that somebody is actually there watching, and even though there's no light, I think you can tell from the picture, mostly by moving, that you.
Hand.
Camera, so
I see his hand. We'll take it for the day.
I think,
Yeah.
I think we can.
I swear I'm not a zombie.
Okay, I'm gonna, I understand that the committee should be making the motion.
Yeah.
So,
So just a clarifying remark for Mark and Mayor here. This is Commissioner Summers. I believe a motion needs to contain an effective date. Mark, clarify me if I'm wrong, because the next two agenda items would have to be set as effective after Chapter 35 is adopted with the changes.
Yes, that would be appropriate. Our ordinance wouldn't go into effect until after it's been published, and then it's the day after it's published, I believe, is how our ordinance work, right? Attorney Fleming?
That's then the other direction, publication is the effective date.
Right.
So really, this one will become, if it's adopted, will become effective on the publication date. I think so then for the subsequent two, if they're dependent upon the changes here, those should be approved effective upon the effective date of the revisions to Chapter 35.
And that's assuming the council waives the second reading, which it doesn't have to do, but that is something you could do tonight. So I guess from a staff standpoint, on behalf of Town Administrator Grosskopf and we would recommend, we're comfortable with the changes as drafted and would recommend approval to the Joint Zoning Committee.
Okay.
Right.
Summers will move approval of Chapter 35 as advised and recommend that council adopt the ordinance amendment.
We have a motion. Do we have a second?
I'll second.
Second by Mannering. Any further discussion? Hearing none. Do you want a roll call vote? No.
I suppose since there's some remote participation, why don't we do that?
Okay, we'll take a roll call vote.
So Kennedy
Aye.
or Mannering,
Yes, I.
Mannering, aye. Harp,
Aye.
Harp, aye. Summers,
Aye.
Summers, aye. Is there anyone else present? Nick Adams is gone. Joe Pichette is not present. So it's passes 4-0, if you want to announce that.
Passes
Yeah,
4-0.
Okay, and for city council, is there a motion on chapter 35?
This is Alder Crow. I'll make that motion.
Is there a second?
Is it the first reading or are you voting to suspend the rules too?
Yeah, there's a note in the staff.
Is there a preference?
I guess I'll go with staff recommendation that we suspend the rules.
Okay.
And
Do we have to do a vote first to suspend? Okay,
Okay.
so as I'm taking that's your motion, is there a second to suspend the rules?
Nelson seconds.
Any comments? All those in favor of suspending the rules and having it a first reading, making it a second reading, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes, and then
and then the motion to amend chapter 35 extraterritorial zoning ordinance.
is there a second?
Nelson seconds.
Okay. Any comments?
I can't.
All those in favor of approving the ordinance amending chapter 35, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? That motion passes.
Okay.
All right, moving on to number 3, ordinance to rezone from A1EX to A24 and ER Kruschek property. 6285 County Highway K. Staff, I'm going to ask for a quick 1-minute profile, and please answer the question if you're able that was provided in public comment.
I believe Mr. Kruschek was asking if this rezoning encumbers in any way the potential sale to Dane County. Is that the question you were asking?
Access, the waterway, Door Creek feeds Lake Mendota. They're able to go in there and do whatever they need to do to make sure that the flow of the spring, the ponds. Basically, my brother and sister and I were worried about the sale of the land if there's no access for them.
And can you repeat the question?
Yes.
For the,
So you're the representative of for the rezoning request, right? And you're asking, what I'm understanding is you're asking if the rezoning that you're requesting could encumber other options for the property to sell it to Dane County or to maintain access to the creek. I don't see, I would rather actually Dean Grosskopf, if he's available, can answer that because I'm not as familiar with the town procedures in this area. But if you're the applicant and you wish your property to be used a certain way, I don't see how rezoning to either of the classifications would encumber that use for that purpose that you're describing. But Dean, did you hear the question and are you able to respond?
I did. We had indicated to the Kruscheks that any further land division was restricted. However, we carved out a portion of that to say that if the land was further sold to Dane County for parks purposes, that was okay. So relative to zoning, I don't think it matters a whole lot if it's A1 or A2 or ER5 or whatever it is. They're still welcome to sell it to Dane County for some kind of conservation type use, and that's fine with Westport. So I don't see that this zoning changes anything at all for them.
does that suffice?
Yeah, I guess that's what we're looking for, is just to make sure that they be able to access it and affect the value of the land because of it.
Okay, very good. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
The committee, would you like to open the discussion as well?
Opening up discussion for the rezoning of the 2 lots for Krushek at 6285 County Highway K. Are there any other questions? And Mark, you're looking for a motion from us, or is this to be decided at a later?
If you're comfortable making a motion tonight, it's noticed and you could do that. If this has been out there for a few months, I agree it should be a delayed effective date subject to the ordinance change going into effect.
Okay. Dean, can you weigh in on your discussions? I believe that our plan commission found this a favorable land division.
Yes, that's right. And we're fine with the land division and the CSM as drafted. You know, upon further review, again, I don't see any problem, but Mr. Krushek is worrying about access. I'm not sure what that means. So those 2 lots that are being carved out of the farm are for residential purposes. The rest of the farm is what we're talking about, I think, relative to a sale to Dane County. If that's not right, then I'm not positive what the question was. So I want to be sure I don't screw him up. But other than that, I mean, we are fine with the land division, and we feel that it's appropriate.
Okay, Dean, we, having just worked with the county and our farm, we granted them an easement. Or we worked with the town to get an easement for the county to access through our land for that property. So I think that might be answering your question, Mr. Krushek. Okay. So I'm looking for a motion to rezone the 2 lots for Krushek at 6285 County Highway K. What's the wording here? And recommend, and looking for a motion to recommend approval of the rezoning subject to the council approval of the rezoning ordinance. Approving it the extraterritorial and I'm sorry, Plan Commission approving the extraterritorial certified survey map and applicant recording of the CSM establishing the lots to be rezoned. Do I have a motion?
And contingent on the Middleton Plan Commission,
She
also
said that.
approving the CSM.
Is that,
She just read that.
yep,
Okay.
up here? No, that's the second one.
Okay.
Right here.
No, so moved, subject to the delayed effective date of chapter 35.
Motion by Summers. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Second by Mannering. Any further discussion? Take a vote.
Mannering?
Yes, aye.
Harp,
Aye.
Mannering also voted aye. Harp, aye. Summers?
Aye.
Summers, aye. Kennedy?
Aye.
Kennedy, aye.
Motion is carried.
Is there a motion from council? It's the ordinance to rezone from A1 EX to A2 and ER Krushek property 6285 County Highway K.
We're loading the summary sheets. There it is.
Well, I'm going to make that motion then to rezone from A1 EX A2 4 and ER1 Krushek property 6285 County Highway K.
Do you need it subject to do you see the staff notes?
On the screen.
What page?
Oh, I'm sorry, page 5 of 6, ordinance 3.
And in any,
Subject to the plan commission approving the ETZ certified survey map.
and in any comments?
Would be suffice if you.
Oh, subject to plan commission approval, that's territorial certificate map and the applicant recording the CSM for the new lot boundaries.
No,
And if-
second.
And if you can add the delayed effective date so that it's consistent with the motion made by Westport just now, we would appreciate that.
Adding delay
Yeah,
effective date.
thank you.
Okay, consistent with the motion.
Second.
Thank you.
Any comments? Hearing none, all those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes unanimously. Number 4, ordinance to rezone from A1EX to A28 and C2 Yahara Material 6139 County Highway K in Westport within Middleton's ETZ.
That as well.
Okay, for Middleton Westport Joint Zoning Committee, the rezoning of the 2 lots for Yahara Materials at 6139 County Highway K.
So for this one, I think we're going to have a postponement unless Chair Pichette has joined the meeting, which I don't think he has.
Touch with him and he does not have
He does,
power.
yeah. So the issue here is that we do not have a quorum for this item because one member has indicated an intent to abstain. So this item is going to have to be postponed. Action on this item will have to be postponed by the Joint Zoning Committee and therefore by the council.
Can you call him because of these undue circumstances? Asking because we prefer Zoom, but since Mr. Harp could not, or Commissioner Harp cannot be on screen because we can see his hand.
That's not the issue. The issue is another commissioner. Commissioner Summers is abstaining.
I know, but he has phone access. He just doesn't have Zoom access. So I was trying to see if we could call him for this one topic.
Correct. I can get a hold of Joe and have him call in, if that would be helpful.
Makes me uncomfortable.
Needs to be.
Okay, because we used to, that's when we traveled pre-pandemic, we did have council people.
And that was also under the emergency declaration, but before emergency declaration.
We tried.
Phone call, you could participate, but.
But
you could
not
be counted for-
vote.
Yeah, you couldn't vote or be part of the gathering.
All right, I was trying my best. All right, thank you for that reminder. All right, so recommendations, how do I move forward?
I think a motion to postpone from the Joint Zoning Committee first would be the.
Actually, if they don't have a quorum to act.
So they can't even vote on postponement? Okay, fair enough. Well, the quorum, so you have to have of the members present. We went through this a few months ago. So it has to be 4 out of 6. One member is not available because of storm issues. One is previously indicated not available and one is abstaining. So it gives us 3, so no action can be taken.
But if she's abstaining for the purpose of what we are going to cover versus if I just ask for a motion to postpone this, can you vote on that?
Theoretically.
Yeah, I think, either way, the effect is going to be the same, but.
I think she's recused herself from, so she's theoretically not part of the discussion at all. So I would
Which is
recommend we just
reasonable.
not take action.
All right, so how about we, as a council, do we delay to the next meeting?
Yeah, just postpone to.
And we need a vote.
Once the Joint Extraterritorial Zoning Committee has had the opportunity to take this up and make a recommendation.
Madam Mayor, it'd be a motion to continue to the next available council meeting, after which time the Middleton Westport Joint Zoning Committee has had an opportunity to convene on this item.
Thank you. Is there a motion to that?
Yeah.
Thank you. Is there a second?
This is Jackson. I'll second.
Thank you so much. Any comments or questions about delaying to the next available meeting? Hearing none, all those in favor of delaying this topic, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes.
One more thing, Mayor.
Unanimously.
I would recommend to the Joint Zoning Committee adjournment at this time and no further action on the other items. Because we have a question from one of the items. One of them has to be postponed and the other one raised a question about the CSM and access. So I think a motion to adjourn, and that way the council can get on with its business.
All right. This is Kennedy from Middleton Westport Joint Zoning. I need a motion to adjourn for the remaining 3 items on this.
I'll make that motion.
Motion by Mannering. Do we have a second?
Summers will second.
second by Summers. Any further discussion? Hearing no discussion. I think we can all in favor of this say aye. Aye.
Aye.
Passed.
And I just want to say, as staff, I apologize for that this got a little unwieldy. Obviously, the storm was not helpful, but we had some absences. And so we will, if we ever do this again, we will improve the process. We may not do this again. Thanks for bearing with us.
Thanks to the commissioners who stayed on, and thanks to the town of Westport for being here with us.
Thanks for having us.
Well, and thank you, Middleton, from Westport's perspective, because I know it's been an intrusion on your night, and we really appreciate it. Hopefully we'll all get home safe and everything will be fine when we get there. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you. All right, wonderful. Brian, do we have any public comments?
I don't have any comment cards that have been filled out. I do know that two individuals, Mr. Wall and Mr. Buns, have asked to speak on a topic that's on the agenda. So now would be an appropriate time to ask them to come up.
Okay. Would you like to come to the front? And is someone watching the time? I can, thanks.
Sweet. Jake Buns, 1818 Parmenter Street in Middleton here. Just speaking to you regarding the Bishop's Bay, community of Bishop's Bay, Middleton Westport corporate boundary detachment. To give you some background, a couple weeks ago, we had came to Finance Committee, Plan Commission before that, and then Finance Committee talking about detaching 108.8 acres from Middleton into Westport for multiple reasons. To further the community of Bishop's Bay development along. Finance Committee given some thought on their end on financial implications and other things. They thought it would not be a prudent idea to detach that much land from Middleton into Westport. So that's what's in front of you today. What I want to show you guys in these 3 minutes that I have is something that Terrence and I have been working on and just wanted to get you guys thinking about it and get a proposal in front of you in the future, but get you thinking about it now, is paring back that detachment from 108 acres to 38 acres roughly total. So it's a 70-acre reduction. But what this does is it's an attempt to straighten out the boundary line between Middleton and Westport to make it clear for emergency personnel, firefighters, cops, other emergency personnel on, which house is in Middleton, which is in Westport. It avoids having the boundary line go through homes and lots, future homes and lots. It would maintain our proposed multifamily lot or multifamily area in the city of Middleton, not in the town of Westport. And we're proposing roughly 850 units there. So I know at the Finance Committee, there was a lot of discussion on keeping housing in Middleton, all different types. So there's the multifamily lot in 850 units. It would stay in Middleton, and then maintaining a portion of the Prairie Reserve neighborhood, kind of the single family homes under Middleton on your screen there, under where it says Middleton on your screen there, in Middleton. And those would be a more dense single family home than what we've seen in the community of Bishop's Bay thus far, or similar to. In addition to that, the corporate boundary line, besides what's going on here, we'd also be pulling the entirety of Onken Road into Westport from Middleton. They're able to apply for agricultural grant to redo that road. So that's not shown on here, but that would be a portion of our request. And then obviously the line here is kind of wacky. You can see the blue line is the existing boundary line. It's just kind of wacky, doesn't fit in with the whole our proposed development or even our master plan development somewhat. So just trying to even it out and make it simpler and do this with some common sense and make it work for both communities. So, yeah, the red line is the new one. I should have said that. Yeah.
Oh, great. That helps.
Yeah, so sorry, so this isn't in front of you or anything, but it's something that we'll likely come back with, and I guess I just kind of wanted feedback from you guys on thoughts on this new proposal.
And I think during public comment, we cannot comment, but I appreciate you sharing and
Yeah.
and asking that question. Did you also want to speak for 3 minutes?
I won't speak for 3 minutes, but I just want to highlight it would run along here as existing, but it would go down the middle of the green space here, the red line, and then it would go along Bishops Bay Parkway, along the edge of it, keeping the parkway in Westport until this point, which is where the boundary line, is right now. So this is this big peninsula in here right now. So that's really unwieldy, right? That's going inside Westport. So it makes it straight. Everybody knows where the boundary of the road is. And to clarify, on Onken Road is when we say pull in Onken Road, the boundary line runs diagonally through Onken. So it's on the south side of Onken over here. And it's on the north side of Onken on this end. So it literally runs diagonally through the road. So there's no set line in Onken Road of the boundary. It goes through the whole thing. So I think you want to straighten that out for sure. So that's it. Thank you.
Thank you for clarifying that. Any other public comments?
I do not have anybody that's raised their virtual hand on Zoom, and I have no other comment cards at this time.
Okay, great. Moving on to proclamations. Before I get started, is Kylie still in the house?
Madam Mayor, so proclamation number 2, proclamation commending Gabriel. We will postpone that one or ask the council to postpone that one to our next council meeting. So when we get to that item, I just ask for a motion for that.
Excellent, thank you. The first one is the proclamation honoring May 19th through the 25th as National Travel and Tourism Week. Whereas Visit Middleton is committed to promoting the Good Neighbor City as a premier destination for families, outdoor enthusiasts, leisure travelers, and meeting planners, and endeavors to support the local economy through marketing and promotional efforts. And whereas the travel industry contributes to the success of every industry and will continue to be a critical part of the City of Middleton's economy, development, and workforce. And whereas through the efforts of both tourism, marketing, and Middleton's hospitality community, Middleton has welcomed visitors in group tour, leisure, conferences, events, and sports activities, resulting in an increase in visitor spending and hospitality employment. And whereas visitor spending accounted for $183 million in the City of Middleton in 2022, a 32.4% increase from 2021, led by the lodging industry, as reported by Tourism Economics, and tourism-related labor income in Middleton amounted to $58.6 million in 2022, with a 9% increase in hospitality employment. And whereas tourism revenue for 2023 amounted to more than $2,177,000, surpassing expectations as well as the pre-pandemic 2018 record. And whereas 30% of Middleton lodging room tax collections are contributed to the City General Fund to support essential services and programs. And whereas National Travel and Tourism Week is an opportunity to recognize the city's hospitality industry, tourism staff, business owners, and community for everything they do to promote Middleton as an excellent place to live, work, play, and visit. Now, therefore, be it resolved that the Common Council and Mayor Kuhn hereby proclaim May 19th through the 25th, 2024 as National Travel and Tourism Week in Middleton, Wisconsin, and urge the citizens of the City of Middleton to join in recognizing the critical role this industry plays in our city. This proclamation was adopted at a regular meeting at the Middleton Common Council on the 21st day of May 2024. Is there a motion?
This is Jackson. I'll make a motion that we approve this proclamation.
Norman, I'll second.
Any comments? Hearing none, all those in favor of approving the proclamation, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? The motion passes unanimously. As stated by our city administrator, I'm going to ask for a delay of the next proclamation to the next meeting. Is there a motion?
This is Madden. I'll move that we postpone the proclamation for Gabrielle Hinahara until our next meeting.
Is there a second?
This is Jackson. I'll second.
Any comments? Hearing none, all those in favor of delaying this proclamation to the next meeting, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? The motion passes unanimously. Moving on to the approval of consent agenda as recommended by council. Is there a motion?
Norman will make a motion. Consent agenda.
Is there a second?
Jackson will second.
Any comments? Hearing none, all those in favor of approving the consent agenda, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes unanimously. Moving on to licenses, renewal applications for 2024, 2025 Class A and Class B intoxicating liquor, Class A and Class B fermented malt beverage, Class C wine only, and Class B winery license. Is there a motion?
This is Jackson on behalf of Eleanor. I make a motion to approve this license.
Does it have to be contingent?
Clarifying question, should we add the language contingent upon satisfaction of the city clerk? Okay, are you okay with that?
Yes.
Excellent, thank you. Is there a second?
Schaefer second.
Any comments? All those in favor of approving the renewal applications contingent upon satisfaction of the city clerk, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes unanimous. Moving on to miscellaneous trash and recycling cart eligibility for solid waste collection. Is there a motion?
Let me see if I can get this right. Norman on behalf of Public Works. Don't want to make a motion to necessarily make any decision tonight, but would like to at least get some discussion on it. And probably gonna need some input, maybe some more input from Public Works and others involved.
Okay.
I think we need to be presented, Sean, and were you gonna present it? How's that for motion?
It's one of these things. I'm not sure there is a short version, and it would be okay with me if the council would prefer to take this up at a different meeting. It's one of those issues where it's not entirely clear what the council's intention is in terms of solid waste cart distribution to condominiums. We've had past practice where staff has interpreted what we think is the council's intention, but we want to see, since we're getting more of them, if we can clarify that.
So maybe my motion should be, we defer this for postpone.
Postpone, yeah, delay. It's a good one.
I'd like to do that. Make that motion that we, so our motion is to simply postpone the current discussion on trash and recycling card eligibility for solid waste collection.
Into the next meeting?
The next meeting.
Is there a second?
This is Madden, I'll second.
Any comments? Hearing none, all those in favor of postponing the topic to the next meeting, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes unanimously. Moving on to number 2. Review of property tax and other impacts of a proposed corporate boundary adjustment detached of land from Middleton for the community of Bishop's Bay. I might need a little staff background.
So included in your packet materials is an analysis from Assistant City Manager, Finance Director Burns, analyzing the previous proposal of the 108 acres that was previously proposed to be detached. Staff has not had a time to do an analysis of the proposal that was just shown to you at the public comment section. We could do that, but that would require additional time before we can have that analysis done for you. So I guess I would caution any sort of action on that new proposal because it's concept, but you are free to give any comments or feedback or questions to the applicant based upon the information that they provided during the public comment period.
Would it be fair to delay this topic to the next meeting as a motion? And then during the discussion piece, if anyone had thoughts on the new proposal, would that be fair? Okay.
That would be appropriate.
Any motion or other motion?
Alder Crow will make the motion to postpone discussion on this topic and direct city staff to do an analysis of the current or what was presented tonight at council to further that discussion at our next meeting.
Is there a second?
Schaefer second.
Any comments on the delaying or on the new proposal? And I'm pausing because the gist of the staff feedback that I recall, and if I'm wrong, let me know, is that the 108 acres is just a very large volume. There was concerns about the tax, like the coming off the rolls. And so shrinking the footprint from the 108 to 38, thank you, I think is in the right path, going in the right direction. And your interest in having apartments in Westport, I don't know how many they have, but I can tell you as the mayor of Middleton, I'm happy to share apartments with other cities. Go have apartments. Bill may not agree with me on that. His tax roll analysis will be forthcoming. Is that fair? Okay, I'm going to say, yeah, fair. Okay. Anybody else have a comment?
I guess one other thing maybe to ask staff is to look at what it would take to I guess encourage some of these properties to be developed in the city of Middleton. What steps need to be taken on our side in terms of how do we speed up development or encourage that development to happen in the city of Middleton.
That's a great
just
idea.
Maybe not anything in depth, but what are some of the steps that we need to take?
Right, because sometimes it's us.
Yeah.
I think that's fair.
Yeah, just sort of can concur. It's a lot of money we're talking about. And I've read a lot about or seen a lot of what the T-Wall Enterprises sort of gets out of this, but I'm not seeing what's the motivation for Middleton to want to do this. So we need more time to think, and I think as the city looks at this, helpfully trying to understand not just what the pros, but cons are, is, why do we want to anxiously, even if it's only 83 acres, give up 83 acres of our land?
38. 38, not 83. I know.
Whatever, yeah.
It's late. I get it.
All I got is like $2 million in the head.
It's a lot. It's a lot. That is a good question. Sort of those old school pros and cons.
Mhm.
And I think one thing that I was trying to understand was that Onken Road redevelopment, because when we did Pleasant View, Bill, I know Pleasant View cost us a lot, and we were sharing that with Madison, and I think maybe another one. But our portion was still very heavy. And I'm not saying it should go. I'm not trying to color your decision making.
We have to
But
wait.
that back and forth. And so the Onken Road grant application that we cannot do, that the town can, was something I was starting to really factor into my decision making. And I'm not 100% for sending away 38 acres, but I'm trying to weigh through that pros and cons. So I understand your need to see it and to hear more. But at least it's not 108. And I want to say at least thank you for working and trying to pitch a new idea. But I like your ideas on pros and cons and your ideas on how asking for those new numbers and how we can help ensure that those houses that remain in Middleton actually get built, because we don't want to keep seeing the empty land. Those families want to move in somewhere. So any other comments? Okay, great. Now, where were we? Did we have a
We have a motion that's been moved and seconded. That's on the floor for vote.
Thank you. All those in favor of postponing the review of property tax and other impacts of a proposed corporate boundary adjustment, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes unanimously. Number 3, request for proposal and funding authorization for police chief recruitment services.
Madam Mayor, on behalf of Finance, I say that we definitely approve this proposal for funding authorization for police chief recruitment services.
This is Nelson, I'll second.
Any comments? Yes. While he's talking, just so you know, Alder Lorman has stepped out of the room. He will be returning shortly.
Yeah, I just wanted to comment that part of the finance committee discussion was the use of $20,000 of general contingency to fund the recruitment services.
And if you ever want an in-depth discussion of what that is, see Bill. It's, I was on personnel, so I know well, so he can give you a succinct answer. All those in favor? Oh, sorry.
Oh, no problem. Madam Mayor, my only comment, and I think Brian had addressed it earlier, is to have I guess to suggest the police commission have the chief involved in the selection of the new chief. And he kind of told me that that's not something they do, but I would like to be taken into consideration because of the long term that the chief has had with these officers. I myself just came through the Citizen Academy. I graduate tomorrow. I've been with most of his officers, and he has a passion for them. He has a love for them. He's put a lot into them. And as a GM of Chili's, if my DO came to me and said, hey, I want you to be director of operations, I want to know who's going to lead my crew that I just built up. So I've learned to be around the chief, been around the Middleton Police Department, and watched the passion, the care that he has for his officers and the family. Hearing from several officers, chief is like, yeah, he's the chief. So I hope in the decision that we make that we get somebody with the same standards, the passion, the care that he has for his officers.
Madam Mayor, can I just offer some clarification to that? I think it would be appropriate for outgoing Chief Ellenbrand to provide some feedback and commentary to whichever firm is selected in crafting the recruitment materials and questions and things like that that might get asked of future candidates. But where it would likely not be appropriate is to have the chief involved in the actual recruitment process and interview and selection process. That is under state law is solely held by the police commission. So that's kind of where the separation would be. But to provide, feedback on the department and those type of things as we're kind of in the ramp up of the recruitment, absolutely.
Appreciate that, Brian.
I want to echo City Administrator Gatto's sentiments. I was lucky enough to be part of the interviewing process, or I guess part of the process when we hired Chief Hellenbrand. And the consulting firm that was hired came to the conclusion that Chief Hellenbrand was the perfect person for the job with the process that they have. And I really trust the process as it exists. And I know we're going to find, well, we're never going to fill those shoes, but we're going to find somebody who will fit our needs. I'm confident.
Thank you. Thank you for both of your wonderful thoughts. I think Chief Hellenbrand, what they're trying to say is we'll miss you. And we do appreciate your passion. Alder Crowe.
And I have a question. If we deny this money, does that mean Chief Hellenbrand will stay and not retire?
Yes.
Can we force him to stay?
Yes, I'm very sorry. We'll let her in on the vote. All right. I'll stop teasing. All those in favor of approving the request for proposal and funding authorization for police chief recruitment services, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes unanimously. Moving on to number 4, authorization to apply for a 2024 Community-Oriented Policing Services or COPS grant. Is there a motion?
Madam Mayor, I make a motion to approve the authorization to apply for a 2024 community-oriented police servicing COPS grant.
Is there a second?
Schaefer seconds.
Is there any comments?
I only have one comment. The chief got up earlier and spoke about this, and I am definitely in favor. Especially, I think one of the provisions is that it will add an extra SRO to the Middleton High School. So I'm definitely in favor of this.
Thank you for that. All those in favor of approving the authorization to apply for the COPS grant, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes unanimously. Moving on to ordinances. First reading, number 1, an ordinance to amend section 15.043 and repeal section 15.0412 related to school restricted parking regulations and resident permits. Is there a motion?
Yeah, this is Madden on behalf of Public Works. Sorry. It's late.
Very late.
It's a lot going on, huh?
Boy. I recommend approving the ordinance to amend section 15.04 and repeal section amend section 15.4 part 3 and repeal section 15.0412 related to school restricted parking regulations and resident permits.
Is there a second?
This is Jackson. I'll second.
Is this the point where you can make a motion to suspend the rules for first reading?
It would, the best case scenario would be that the maker of the motion and the seconder withdraw their motion, and then somebody can make a motion to suspend the rules and then make a second motion to adopt it if the motion to suspend the rules has been passed.
Oh, I get to do it again. Fine, I withdraw my motion.
This is Jackson. I withdraw my second to the motion.
I'd like to make a motion to suspend the rules on first reading.
Katie, take over.
Yeah, absolutely.
You're right. Here, and then suspending the rules.
Be a complicated motion.
Yeah, okay. Do we have a motion and a second to suspend?
We have a motion, no second yet.
This is Jackson. I'll second it.
Discussion? All those in favor of suspending the rules under section 1.05, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes unanimously.
Now you get to go.
All right, now I move to approve an ordinance to amend section 15.043 and repeal section 15.0412 related to school restricted parking regulations and resident permits.
College second.
College seconds?
Yes.
Okay. Any discussion on this item? Hearing none, all in favor of an ordinance to amend section 15.04 and repeal section 15.0412 related to school restricted parking regulations and resident permits, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes. On to, are we into resolutions?
Correct, Madam.
Great. Number 1, resolution 2424, final assessments for Lake Street and Dewey Court reconstruction.
On behalf of Public Works, Lorman will recommend we accept that resolution.
That was very smooth. Do I have a second?
This is Madden, I'll second.
Any discussion on this? Hearing none, all in favor of resolution for the final assessments for Lake Street and Dewey Court reconstruction, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Resolution passes unanimously. On to committee appointments. Committee appointment number 1, committee, commission, and board citizen reappointments. Is there anybody is there a list that I am
Yeah, sorry,
missing?
just give me 1 second to get it pulled up here. Let me just
These
scroll
are
down.
all reappointments?
Correct. This would be reappointments. So individuals that currently have membership that's expiring on various committees, commissions, and boards that have been nominated for reappointment.
I would move that we accept the list of nominations as submitted.
Do I have a second?
This is Jackson. I'll second.
Whoever Brian wants on that one. Any discussion on these? All right, all in favor of reappointing these committee and commission members signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes unanimously. On to committee, commission, and boards, new appointments. Now, I believe if you need to, you can pick it apart or you can vote as a group.
Lorman will make a motion that we accept the new appointments as presented.
This is Jackson. I'll second.
Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor of appointing these fine folks to committees, commissions, and boards signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries unanimously.
Just as a heads up to the general public, we have a lot of trees down on Century Avenue, and there is police presence, and of course, our people will be working probably through the night to clear those out. I know that's not on the agenda, but in case anyone is traveling home tonight.
Park Street as well.
Good to know. And Terrace Avenue, Park and Terrace, and well, probably everywhere.
So just be careful.
Just be careful. With that, we are adjourned.